Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of Bad Blood Predator from NECA Toys. That's right, NECA is continuing on with their incredibly popular Predator series by giving us some more characters based on some of their different appearances. This one here comes straight out of a comic book storyline, focusing on a Predator who is a bit of a rogue Predator. You see, instead of hunting for sport, this particular Predator is bloodthirsty and just kills for fun. So let's check out his new action figure. As you can see, it comes on some incredibly eye-catching packaging. Bright, colorful, has a really great comic book type appearance to it, and the Predator logo right there on the bottom of the blister bubble has a nice kind of shiny, embossed red look to it. Very, very nice looking packaging. The back of that box gives us a look at the Predator straight out of the comic books, as well as a description of the story that he's based upon, and below that we get a look at some of the other Predators currently available in this recent wave. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at Bad Blood outside of the packaging. Now, NECA says that this particular Predator figure features more paint deco and detail than we've ever seen on any of their other Predator action figures. And trust me, it shows. Just look at the amazing amount of detail put into this guy. First of all, the sculpt, as always, is terrific here. He features this really gnarly face sculpt with the wide open mouth, with the fangs and the mandible kind of jutting out there to the sides. He's got these really great piercing red eyes that almost have a bit of a comic book look to them the way that they're colored. Got those great dreads all individually sculpted and hanging down from the back of his head. Great deco and detail all around for a fantastically vicious looking face. And then you look at the outfit that he's wearing and all of the little pieces and trinkets that are attached to him, and you can really see how cool the details are here. I mean, look at this. On one shoulder, he's got spines just kind of jutting out of it that are all attached to the little shoulder harness that he's wearing. Over on the other shoulder, he has the skull of a fellow Predator. Shows you how fearsome this guy actually is. You've got more bone pieces kind of sticking to his wrist bracers there. You can see he's got two different types of skulls over his knees from obviously various alien life forms, and even more spines kind of going down the sides of his shins there. So many fantastic details all over this guy. I mean, he's got piercings. Look at this. He's got piercings not only on like his eyebrow, but also on one of his nipples. I mean, come on, nothing says badass like piercings, right? And then he's got those large blades that are coming off of his right wrist bracer, and you can see that they are all covered in blood. There's blood splatter on the wrist bracer itself, the blades, all over his right hand, and even splattered onto his chest. So there is lots of terrific paint deco going on here. Aside from every little bit being individually painted and detailed with awesome little sculpted details, even kind of like with the etchings worked into the bracers of the arms, all the paint deco is great too because he's really got that kind of glossy look to him that gives him sort of that slimy, almost reptilian looking skin. This guy just looks absolutely amazing. He is quite an impressive looking action figure. So before we get into his accessories, let's go ahead and run down the articulation on this guy. The head is on a ball joint, so it can roll all the way around, look up and down there. The shoulders are also ball jointed, but you will note that the pieces that are attached to his shoulders are going to hinder the movement just a bit. So they don't really go upwards out to the side too much, but you can still move them forwards and backwards. You do have swivels at the elbow, as well as a standard elbow bend. And then the wrists are on ball joints, so the hand can not only swivel, but it can roll all the way around. You got a swivel at the waist there. You got ball joints at the thigh, so the legs can go all the way outwards, move forwards and backwards, as well as swivel. You've got really nice double joints at the knees that are hidden behind the skulls there. And then the ankles are also in a nice ball joint, just like the wrists, so the feet can swivel left and right, rock side to side, and kind of rotate all the way around there. And I will say that all of the articulation joints are nice and tight on this guy. He even has a bit of that little ratchet joint thing going on in his knees, so none of it feels loose. You can really get some great poses out of this guy, and you don't have to worry about him falling over or toppling down or anything like that, because all those joints are nice and stiff. So he comes with a slew of accessories, as you can see here. Some of them are decoration pieces, others are weapons. First and foremost, let's go ahead and take a look at the interchangeable hand. You will notice that he has a swappable right hand that has a gripping pose that will be used for his weapons. The hand is on a ball joint, so it easily pops off, but I will warn you that the new one is going to be a little tight when you pop it on the first time around. So you definitely want to be careful, especially with the blades right there. You don't want to break those. If it makes it a little more easy for you, you might want to even do the heat up method, where you take a blow dryer and kind of heat up the joint a little bit. That way the hand pops on just fine. Once you got it on, it's a lot easier to remove it and pop it back on again, and that way you can swap those hands out for whichever pose you desire. So, to add to some of the decoration, here are some of the extra pieces this guy has. First of all, he has these severed human heads. How gruesome, right? And look at the details on these things. Just like the figure itself, there is a lot of paint and sculpt work going on here that is absolutely amazing and also horrifying at the same time. Because not only do we have these looks of fear and these dead human faces, but when you turn them around, you can see that half of the heads are gone. And they have this nasty, gruesome kind of slimy red look to the inside there. It's really, really incredible. Now, these are meant to hang from the little belt that is wrapped around his waist. You will notice that there's a little string there that they will hang off of via the little hooks that are on the tops of the heads. Be very careful with this piece. It is attached to the figure. It looks like it's kind of glued on around his waist there, and it does feel a little fragile, so you don't want to snap that little plastic rope. But take your time. You could take the little hooks from the tops of the heads, and they just kind of dangle right there off of his belt at his side to add even more trophies to the overall look of this character. Now, more trophies that this guy includes. He also has this little pair of extra skulls that are kind of roped together. Again, great detail going on here. Even when you flip them around and look at the inside, you can see the full inside of the skulls are completely sculpted with a great paint deco. Now, I don't believe these actually hang anywhere on him. You can kind of fit them under the belt if you want to try to get them to sit there, but they're not going to stay very well. But you can get him to hold them in his hand if you want to. And the other little extra piece that was thrown in is a dread removed from a predator. So, like he ripped it right out of another predator's head. Again, there's nowhere to actually put this on the figure, but it's a neat little inclusion, and you can find ways to get him to hold on to it. So now we want to arm him up to do battle against some of the, well, other predators, and then everybody that he's killing. He's got two different weapons for this. First of all, you've got this bloody machete weapon. Again, great paint deco with the same red blood splatter that we've seen on the figure itself. It can be held in that right hand once we pop on that gripping fist there. And then another weapon that he includes is this awesome spear, which again can be held in that same hand. So you've got two different options for weaponizing this predator. So there you go, my friends. There is a look at Bad Blood Predator. An absolutely amazing Predator action figure, I must say. I mean, I know I sound like I'm gushing about this a little bit, but I can't help it. This is one of the coolest Predator figures I think I have ever looked at, if not the coolest Predator figure that NECA has ever made. The paint deco and the sculpt alone are mind-blowing on this guy, and the articulation functions very well. The only things you need to be wary of is accidentally breaking parts when swapping out the hands, and maybe that belt piece. They're a little on the fragile side. But other than that, this guy is awesome. And if you're a fan of the old Bad Blood storyline, or just the Predator figures in general, I think you will really dig this guy. So Bad Blood Predator is available at online retailers right now, and should be hitting store shelves very soon. So happy hunting, my friends, and until next time.